Hello my fellow gardening gals and guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden in a zone 4B in central Minnesota. So today I thought it would be a good idea just to go over all the spring bulbs that I planted, how they did, kind of review what I liked, what kind of fizzled out, and then I'll kind of go over my spring bulb order for next year that I'll be planting here in fall. So I did already make that order last week. And yeah, I'll kind of just take you through the garden and show you a few clips as well and some pictures. So what we'll get started with is, I kind of wrote down everything I want to go over here. So my favorite bulbs so far have been Globemaster Alliums. I'm going to put a clip of my front garden so you could kind of see. The clip I'm going to insert here, it's going to be all the Globemaster and Purple Sensation Alliums. So I'll show you that here. So as you can see, the Globemaster Alliums are just gorgeous. So 2 years ago, I started with just 5 bulbs. They're huge. They're planted like 9 inches deep. Now I'm in a zone 4B and technically Globemaster Alliums are for a zone 5, but they came back for me fine. I make sure to mulch them really well before the winter, but there's always a chance that we could have a really, really, really bad like polar vortex and they might die. So I took that chance and hopefully, you know, they'll be fine. But I think in the future, I'll always plant, you know, something that's more hardy to zone 4 just in case. But I always wanted Globemasters and I am glad I got them. So like I said, I started with just 5 plants. So the first year, it was just all 5 came up. They were gorgeous. And this is the second year. And as you can see, there's 2 to 3 bulb, like stalks and blooms per area that I originally planted. So they all multiplied. Now what I could do is after, you know, they die back, I could dig those up and split those if I wanted, you know, them to in a few more areas. But I think I'm just gonna keep them as is for a while and just kind of let them multiply and see what happens. If they start to look really crowded, then of course, probably next year, I might split them. So Globemaster Alliums, I really highly recommend zone 5 and up. Those I got from, it's vanenglyn.com. So they're a company that's based out of Connecticut. I will put a link to the website in the description. I really like their bulbs. They have great customer service. They've always came on time. They have a wonderful, huge selection online, and you can buy in bulk. They're more of like a wholesale type of bulb web store, basically. So I like to buy, you know, quite a few of my bulbs, so it's kind of better priced if you do it that way. Moving on here, you also saw Purple Sensation Alliums. Now those I just got like cheap. They're in like one little package from Menards. There was like 6 Purple Sensations in there. And I think all but one of them came up. And they all flowered. They look great. So highly recommend the Purple Sensation for zone 4 especially. I'm not sure if I'm going to be planting more of those. I might. I mean, the Globemasters are just so much bigger. So, you know, right next to it, they kind of blossom at the same time. So it's like, you know, the Globemasters outshine them a little. But it's nice to have some variety. Their purple is a little bit deeper. So those were good. Got those from Menards. Happy with that. Let me show you a clip here of my Thalia Daffodils. So I'll roll that here. So the Thalia Daffodils, as you could see, they're just so like precious. They're just like, I like that white in the garden. It's just so like, there's like a formal aspect to it that looks elegant or something. I don't know. I just love it in the spring garden. I like the foliage. It's kind of like a blue-green. So even after the blossom dies, I don't really mind the foliage at all. I got those at Van Engelen's as well. Very happy with those. You know, I planted them all over. I think they all came up. And there was more this year for sure, so they multiplied. So hopefully those will naturalize a bit. So yeah, I definitely recommend Thalia Daffodils. They're a little bit smaller, but I love the white color. So that was a definite plus for me. Let's move on. Not sure if I have a clip or a picture. I'll insert here if I do, but these are just your run-of-the-mill, I don't have the name, just run-of-the-mill daffodils from Menards. I think I got 6 in the package. They all came up and only 1 blossomed, but I'm not gonna blame that on Menards. We had a really late spring. It got really cold, and I think that's the reason why. But let me insert that here if I could find it. Okay, so you know, those were also planted near like 3 maple trees that have really shallow roots, so it gets dry, and you know, that might have been another reason why they didn't bloom. But I'm gonna give it another year before I really make a judgment on it. Let's see how next spring is, and let's see if they come up. So I'm just gonna leave them there. I always plant alliums and daffodils because I have a ton of squirrels. We live, you know, just adjacent to the wetlands near a lot of wildlife, and alliums and daffodils are not bothered by rodents of any sort. So I usually never do tulips, but this next one I'm going to show you is a tulip, but it was here when I moved in. If anybody can spot the variety, if you know, please leave it in the comments below, because actually as long as I spray it with liquid fence, the rabbits or whatever eats the tulips leave it alone. So those are some really long blooming tulips as well. I wish I knew what they were called. But yeah, I've been just really happy with them. They bloom for weeks. So yeah, that's the only tulips I have in my landscape. Now, one other thing that we'll go over is my spring bulb container. It was like the first video I posted on this channel this year, and I'll put a link to in the description if you want to check that out. But let me insert a clip from my phone here about how this container ended up looking. So here it is. So if you could kind of see that a few of the tulips had kind of fizzled out. 2 kinds never even bloomed, and you can see the tips were brown, basically. So all of these plants, let's see, I had 3 Blue Star Hyacinth, 3 types of tulips. We're all from Home Depot. Lean Vandermark, Passionale, and Keys Nellis. I'm not sure which is the one that bloomed. I believe it is Lean Vandermark. Not positive. So, and they were those tulips were beautiful, and the hyacinth was beautiful. I bought these not in bulbs, but they were already like forced. So I just took the plants and planted them in my shallow container. Probably won't do that again. With 2 of the tulips not blooming, maybe they had some transplant shock. It was a really cold spring. Maybe in the future I'll just get bulbs and I'll force them myself inside and then bring them out, because I think the transplanting just, they didn't like that too much. But we'll see how that goes, because I decided to just go ahead and put those in my landscape once they fizzled out. So we'll see if they come back next year. Now those I will have to spray with deer and rabbit repellent. I don't know if that'll keep the squirrels off of the bulbs, but we'll see. We'll see. I will wait to, or I'll do another review next year or so. Anyways, okay, so that is all for the ones I had planted this year. So I'll go over my next year bulb order. I just placed the order last week. I usually plant bulbs end of October, beginning of November here in central Minnesota. I will be getting these all from vanengelen.com. I'm not sponsored, by the way. And I'll show you a couple pictures here. So what I decided to go with is I definitely wanted more allium, of course, because I just love allium. I'm going with 12 Allium Atlas bulbs. Just an alternative to Globemaster. They don't get as big. I think the globes on them are about 8 inches. I'll insert pictures straight from Van Engelen's website. So yeah, that's Allium Atlas. And, you know, I think they get about 36 inches tall. So I think I will be putting that just in my front bed where I have the alliums currently. I added on using the no-dig method, and I kind of am starting to plant that up. I'll go ahead and put some in there just to kind of have that whole space kind of just mesh well. You know, if there's alliums just in one spot, I just think it would look good with alliums in the new spot. So we'll see how those look. I'm very excited, and like I said, since they're zone 4, I won't have to worry about them dying in the winter. All right, then I'm gonna go with 20 Allium Astaras. So let me insert a picture here because these are really unique looking. So this is, like I said, straight from Van Engelen's website. These are short alliums that I'm gonna put at the border. So I'm gonna put it at the border of my front bed and my side bed. But they just look cool. And like I said, I love alliums, so I can't wait to show you those next year. See how those come up. Let's see, I'm ordering 50 because you get these next two I'm ordering, I'm getting 50 of each because that's the least amount you can get and it's still only like $20 for 50. So the first one is Fritillaria Meliagris Alba. Let me insert a picture here. These are really unique looking. I mean, they look like downturned bells. Let's see, they bloom April to May, and they're zone 3 through 8, and they get 8 inches tall. So I love white. I don't know how like rodent resistant these are. I think I'll spray just in case. But yeah, for 50 bulbs, it was only $18.75. So let's see how that does. That's Fritillaria Meliagris Alba. And the last one here is 50 white Petticoat Daffodils. Let me pull this up. It's also called Narcissus Bulbocodidium. So these are white petticoat. Look at these. I mean, this picture I'll insert from their website, it's almost like the foliage is really dark and kind of striking next to the white blossoms, but it's like the bell, like the cup on the daffodil is really pronounced, and then they just have like a star behind it of tiny petals. So I just thought that was really unique. I love unique plants that nobody else has. I love it when people are like, oh, what's that? I've never seen it before. So that's what I was going for here. Not sure exactly where I'm going to put it yet, but some of the stats here, zone 4 through 9, and they get 6 to 8 inches tall. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so that about wraps it up, except there's one other bulb that I planted that kind of, I don't know if it just hasn't bloomed yet, or if it's gonna fizzle out this year. I'm not gonna place a judgment on it this year because, like I said, we had a really hard spring. But I got 50 Summer Drummer Alliums from vanengelen.com, and a lot of them came up, but they're not blooming yet. Now, their website says they bloom in July/August. So for zone 4, I think maybe that would be July. But they have a far way to go to put up those stems. So we'll see. I'll do like an update on those later in the season when it starts, if they start blooming. Hopefully, I put some in the front garden bed and the back garden bed. Let me put a picture of summer drummers if you don't know what they look like. So they are the tallest allium you can get. They can be even taller than me. I'm 60 inches tall. They can get 60 to plus inches tall. The globes on them are a little bit smaller, and they're also the latest blooming allium you can get, and that is why I decided to buy them. And I just thought it'd be really cool to have something. I've never seen them before, so you know, it'd be really cool to have these really tall alliums, and it'd just be kind of whimsical, kind of, I guess is the word. So right now, I mean, some of them are a good 3 feet tall, but I don't see any further growth on them right now. So we'll see what happens with that. I was the most excited about these, and who knows, maybe they'll surprise me and they'll look great this year, and I really hope that's the case. But I'll let you know. So I hope you like that video all about spring bulbs, a review, and then also what I'm going to plant in the future. So if you have any bulbs that you really like, if you want to share those in the comments below, I'm always looking for something that's really beautiful that grows really well. And yeah, I would love to hear your comments. And if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, it would really help me out. I'm just kind of getting started out, but I would love to build a community that we can all, you know, talk about plants together with. So anyways, Happy gardening, you guys. I'll see you in the next video.